You strike me as a remorseless man, Mr. Dufresne. I hereby order you to serve 2 life sentences back to back.
Released in 1994, The Shawshank Redemption wasn't just another prison movie. It was a masterclass in storytelling that would change cinema forever. But to understand its magic, we need to look at 5 elements that most people miss. It all started with a short story by Stephen King. Not a horror story, but a meditation on hope. The film rights sold for just $5,000 to an unproven director. Sometimes the greatest things come from the most humble beginnings. Look at Andy's first night in prison. Notice how we barely see his face. The camera keeps him distant, mysterious. We're seeing him through Red's eyes, a stranger who'll become the most important person in his life. This isn't just artistic choice, it's masterful character development. First major element, the power of silence. While most prison films assault you with violence and chaos, Shawshank uses silence as a weapon. Listen. Play Quiet Moment from Andy's cell. That silence, it's deafening. It's not just empty space, it's the weight of time itself. Now let's talk about what you don't see. The greatest moment in the film, Andy's escape, is never shown in real time. Instead, Red's narration reveals it after the fact, letting our imagination do the heavy lifting. This isn't just clever storytelling, it's psychological genius. By holding back, director Frank Darabont makes us active participants in Andy's triumph. Every viewer becomes an escapee. Second element, the power of small victories. Watch how the library evolves over time. It's not just about books, it's about building something meaningful in a place designed to destroy meaning. Each new book is a tiny rebellion against despair. When Andy plays Mozart over the prison speakers, it's not just music, it's a reminder that beauty can exist anywhere. If you believe in the power of great storytelling as much as we do, join our growing Watchverse community. Hit subscribe and that notification bell, because like Andy's tunnel to freedom, we're chipping away at cinema's greatest mysteries, one masterpiece at a time. Third element, the narration mystery. Red's voice doesn't just tell the story, it elevates it. But here's something fascinating. Play scene with Red and Andy's first meeting. The film breaks Hollywood's cardinal rule, it tells instead of shows, yet it works beautifully. Why? Because Red isn't just narrating a story, he's sharing a confession. Every word carries the weight of 20 years of reflection. Fourth element, the Brooks subplot. This heartbreaking side story isn't just tragic, it's prophetic. It shows us what happens when hope dies. His tale isn't just about institutionalization, it's about the fear of change that lives in all of us. When Brooks writes Brooks Was Here, he's writing for everyone who's ever felt the world move too fast. But here's the real reason Shawshank has endured. Pause for effect. It's actually not about prison at all. It's about hope. Not the greeting card kind, but the type that requires work, patience, and years of tiny victories. As Andy says, hope is a good thing, maybe the best of things, and no good thing ever dies. This isn't blind optimism. It's hope earned through suffering. Fifth element, the visual poetry. Notice how the camera moves. Slow, deliberate, like time itself in prison. The walls aren't just gray, they're photographed to feel alive, oppressive, watching. Roger Deakins' cinematography doesn't just show a prison, it makes you feel imprisoned. Even today, almost 30 years later, new viewers are discovering Shawshank, and their reaction is the same. Because while the world has changed dramatically since 1994, the human need for hope, friendship, and redemption remains constant. In an age of superhero blockbusters and instant gratification, Shawshank reminds us that the greatest special effect is the human spirit. So maybe that's why it tops IMDb's list, not because it's the most spectacular or ambitious film ever made, but because it understands something fundamental about the human spirit. In Andy's quiet defiance and Red's gradual awakening, we see reflections of our own struggles and triumphs, and perhaps that's the greatest achievement of Shawshank. It reminds us that no matter how dark things get, hope is always a choice. That sometimes the greatest act of rebellion is to never let them break you. And like Andy says, pause, get busy living or get busy dying. What's your favorite moment from the Shawshank Redemption? Share in the comments below, and if you enjoyed this deep dive into cinema's greatest masterpiece, don't forget to join the Watchverse for more analysis of films that shape our culture.